Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button and keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. All right, folks, here we are on Tuesday, November 14th. We're going to take a look at XPEV today. So XPEV has earnings coming up. I thought we'd come and take a look and see where it might catch support or resistance, or even just move sideways based on the reaction to earnings. Now here on the Webull chart, just to note, there's this recent swing high up over 23. So if it gets really strong momentum to the upside, eventually we would want to look toward that. If it swings to the upside, the nearer in level that we want to immediately look for is 1711. And then there's some levels in between the ones that I put in. There's one here around 1810 or so. But I didn't want to clutter the chart too much. So I put in what I felt were the strongest levels and just know that there are some more granular ones in between. So in any case, 1711, 1973 if it's able to get a really nice solid stretch. And then if it can continue on for a while, 2239 potentially comes into play. That level is drawn from way back here where it was playing a factor. Now this downtrend resistance is the most important level for it to get some distance from. It's just trying to pop itself out of there at the moment. But at the same time, that means it left itself a little bit of a gap here, not much. To the downside, that gap would kick off at about 1618, and it would fill it at about 1588. So not a huge gap, but it would certainly put it put at risk of or back under this downtrend resistance, which if you're an XPEV bull, that's not what you're going to want to see happening. Now, if it does sort of move sideways, it could potentially pin itself or, just wrestle with the 1711 level, and that could give it an opportunity to even sidestep itself away from this downtrend resistance. Now, on the bullish side of things, obviously what I'd want to see is for it to come up and get some clear motion into the 18s here, and that would, give it potentially the ability for some bullish momentum, let it ride a little bit of a wave. It has the ability to do that. It's just, it constantly gets these like little waves going up and then it has a more sustained downturn. So it's sort of at the beginning of one of these upticks now. You see a slight downturn. Now it's trying to tick back up again. So I'm interested to see, we have this recent motion that's sort of like this slightly tilted to the right M, right? It's sort of an M, like an upside down W pattern. I'm wondering if we're getting something like that again. Don't know. Let's put in this first leg and the dip here, if that's going to take shape, but we'll just have to wait and see. If it does come down 1540 and then 1337 with, like I said, some levels for sure in between. Now on the think or swim side of things, I had zoomed out here because there was this, it's been firing for a very long time. So I don't know when it's going to re-trigger and fire here in the TTM squeeze indicator, but you see way back here is when it was last triggering and firing. So that was at the end of 2022 and the beginning of 2023. And then this has just been, I guess, a long sustained playing out of the criteria needed to be considered firing. It did spend some time out the upper bound of the channel, right? It had this nice move up, got way out of the channel. What we always look for at that point is for it to come back down, test the mid-range of the channel and see what it does there. So I would say, it's done a pretty good job holding that. If we look back here, it's dipped down to here, but if we follow that line to the left here, it's still well above all of this area where it was condensing, where it's consolidating price action before it made this move up, right? This here, if we just follow that line over, it still is above those highs at that range where it was consolidating price action. So if it can sustain this swing low and continue to even just sort of consolidate price action again, I could see that being potentially a good sign for another move coming up. I would be interested to see if it does continue to put it in a consolidation pattern when it starts to trigger again, because obviously that trigger and fire last time, it took a while to play out, but when it did, it brought that price from about 7 up to 23. So huge opportunity for pretty massive gains there, just on a per share basis. Wrestling for the moment at the mid-range of the channel, sort of speaking to what I was just talking about with the consolidation. It did leave the lower bound of the channel not too long ago, which is, seems kind of odd with sort of the motion of the stock. So maybe just keep an eye on that and make sure that doesn't become a habit. But we'll see. It very quickly worked itself back in and immediately worked its way all the way up to the upper bound of the channel. So that sort of may lean toward the bulls still can recoup quickly when the bears try to come in and sort of take things over. We see that here, we see that here, we see that here. So that is, a bit of a pattern as of relatively recent for XPEV. All right, folks, I hope that your trading week is off to a good start. And as always, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video.